right, we live now, man. How you doing? You all right,
What's going
man?
on?
You doing all right?
Yeah, my internet. Yeah, my internet acting up, man. There's an outage out here, so I gotta. I'm I'm using my phone's little mobile data hotspot right now. So if it cuts off, it's acting up, man.
Mm, everything. So everything is everything. So how things been going?
It'll be all right, man. You know, so I just been trying to. I'm just doing. I'm surviving out here, man. Surviving Newsom and Biden, man. You know what I'm saying? The Democrat onslaught over here,
You
man.
say surviving all of them, huh?
Man, dude. You know, the
Yeah.
Democratic joust over here, dude. You know what I'm saying? These. What about you, BJ, man? You doing? There's a lot of shit going on over there where you at too, man, huh?
Yeah, stuff going on everywhere, man. You know how it goes, man. Mm,
Yep. Yep, BJ.
mm.
That's what we got to maintain. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to maintain, dude, through this all this madness. You know what I'm saying? All this BS that's going on, man. This tout, tatar, tatar. I can't even pronounce the word right, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? This treasonous type stuff that's going on, man. It's for mad treasonous, dude. You know what I mean? This guy right here in office needs to go, man. I think the whole system needs to be changed. Not just the person in office. The whole system needs to be changed, and for the
I
better,
got you.
man. Dismantle it. Get them out of here. Get them out of here, man.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Well, you got a lot of bad policies out there in the area. So as I was reading, I see that they telling the guy for the Orlando Magic can't eat with your teammates and stuff like that. You ain't took the jab. You know the old sayings, right? Interesting, isn't it?
But I don't understand why none of these NBA players, none of them sue or none of them. It's weird. It's like I don't know. I don't want to say it's a script, but it just seems weird how all this stuff be happening. And it's just like it's like I don't know, man. Nobody lawyers up. Like none of them. You know what I'm saying? None of them come to the press conference with their lawyers. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like so, just
Yeah.
because they're in the NBA, they don't mean they got right. They don't got rights or don't have rights or do have rights. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know.
Well, they got something, but they ain't got the cojones, as they say, or the balls, huh?
But some is in them contracts though. Something that we don't know about. Some things that some stipulations we don't know about that's in them contracts. Trust me.
Well, that's pretty much the deal. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's a lot in those contracts.
And see, the thing is, you got to look at it like these people are public employees, man. Look at it like that. They're employees to the public, man. They're not even all their business, everything's out there. What privacy do they have? So they could, parade them on TV and act like this is a big, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole big ordeal with them, their job being on the line. But meanwhile, nobody, sues for discrimination or nobody calls a meet. I don't know. It's just weird, because they got some good lawyers, dude. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy, man.
Mm, yeah.
But I wouldn't want to sit. I wouldn't want to sit with motherfuckers. I wouldn't want to sit with them. You know why I wouldn't want to sit with them? I'm not this. I'm not the one spread. I'm not the spreader. So y'all, you know what I'm saying? If anything, I shouldn't want to sit with you.
Player Association will not fight the league. That is exactly right. They will not fight the
Mm,
league.
mm, mm,
Why don't they fight the league?
mm.
Is the
Exactly.
question. Why don't they fight the league? That should be the better question.
Right, that's basically the union for the players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically, I mean, you the players association. It should be more like the NBA association, company association. That's what they should call it.
Well, yeah, they are for the company, the NBA company. Yeah, that's who they for.
It's just like like your union on your job. They're not, a lot of times they're not really for you either, man. When you see that your dues is going to some kind of political candidate or some kind of funding that you don't know nothing about, how is that fair to you?
Well,
Excuse me.
they gotta pay the cost to be the boss, don't they?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, man. The small look. You put it like this. Rascat said something. Back in the day, he said, the small has run it, and we run around in it. That's basically what that is, though. He was talking about hip hop.
Right.
He was talking about hip hop, but that goes for all that, dude. That goes for all that sports, all that. One thing about sports, you can't dodge the racism. I don't understand why people watch that and they act like you can't dodge the racism, man. People watch sports and act like they ain't no racism. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna escape. It's escapism, though. That's what it is, BJ. You know what I mean? It's like watching a a movie. You escaping from that reality at that point.
Yeah, that's about right. So, as I realize people are, certain states getting ready for winter, but it's been a short supply of goods and stuff. Have you been realizing that lately? A little bit of shortage of goods, maybe docks, ships in the dock, maybe. You realize that?
Mm-hmm.
So
from LA,
we need a distraction for Christmas. Well, is Christmas a distraction, or is that really a distraction now? But nevertheless, I did see some things today that were a little concerning. There's a lawsuit going on, and I realized that if you're not fully vaccinated, right, that you're not counted as a death. So if you die within the first 14 days of taking it, it's not counted as a death. See how interesting that is? So how many people really dying? That's the question. That's the question you need to be asking. That's all I always say. The question you need to be asking: how many people really dying or whatever? That's the question you need to be asking. And but nobody's asking the right questions. Hey, Monique 2C. So tell me about the state of life in California right now with all the mandates. Let me know.
I mean, it's bad in LA, man. That's like the main place that he dropped it, man. I mean, I think it might be going to gyms now too, man. I think it was the first like a little like tier. It was restaurants and it was bars and stuff like that. But now I think it's gyms and everything. That's crazy. So, for example, if I wanted to go to like, you know what I mean?
Go in that video. Go in that video I sent you last night, right? With Biden, right? And I'm gonna let you know that he's going after your unions. He was in Chicago. He was going after the union. He's trying to get the unions to get on board with this crap. So you need to listen to it.
All right. My internet acting up, man. My bad. Why is it acting like that, man? Hold up. Oh, my bad. I'm tripping. All right. Oh, I'm tripping. All right, so shit. Okay. Here we go.
These days, everyone's staring at screens
and watching their spending. Good vision is more important than ever, but so is saving. That's why America's Best is using a free eye exam when you buy 2 pairs of glasses for just $69.95. Book an exam online today.
Come on, man.
Start, build birdhouses, build a website. Bluehost makes it easy to create a fly WordPress website or online store. Perch on that. Build beyond boundaries at Bluehost.
Wow. You want me to fast forward any, or I think I should fast forward? No.
No, I don't
Like
think
30 minutes.
let this governor say
Ladies and
what he'll
gentlemen,
say first.
please
I want you to
welcome
hear this stuff he's saying.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot,
Echo.
Congressman Roger Krishnamurthy.
That's a bad echo.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is a real pleasure to be here today with some of the finest working men and women, elected officials, and labor and business leaders in the greatest state in the nation. I'm proud to welcome to Illinois our guest of honor, a man fiercely committed to seeing the nation through the greatest challenge of our generation, President Joe Biden. On behalf of Illinoisans from Cairo to Chicago, on behalf of our healthcare heroes who have given their all, on behalf of the small business owners and workers deserving of an economy built back better, on behalf of educators eager for a normal in-person learning experience for their students, thank you, Mr. President, for your courageous leadership during this pandemic. The president couldn't have picked a better place than Illinois to witness the rising tide of economic recovery in construction, advanced manufacturing, in agriculture, the innovation economy, clean energy, and more. We are proudly the most vaccinated state in the Midwest. And thanks to the partners that we have, like Clayco, a longtime vocal advocate of the life-saving power of vaccination, thousands more Illinoisans are getting their first shot each day. As the Delta wave has made all the more clear, to exit this pandemic, inventing life-saving vaccines isn't enough. We have to actually use them. Getting vaccinated is the right thing to do for ourselves and for each other. Vaccinations are helping to keep our schools and our businesses open. They're the way out of this pandemic and back to normalcy in every aspect of our lives. And although millions more need to do their part, thanks to the president's leadership and the commitment of people across Illinois and the nation, we're making real progress. In fact, just today, I announced 2 additional agreements with organized labor requiring vaccines for state workers who care for our veterans and for our most vulnerable. I'm proud to have their partnership as we promote safe, proven, and free vaccinations that will restore normalcy to our communities, our lives, and most crucially, allow us to maintain our healthcare system's ability to care for anyone who walks through their doors in need of help. As we begin to see signs of improvement in our COVID-19 trajectory, every unvaccinated American has a choice to make. We can prepare for more tragic, senseless loss of life in the months to come, or we can get vaccinated. There's really not much debate about what the right choice is. So roll up your sleeve and get your first shot and your flu shot. And if you're eligible for a second shot or a booster shot, don't wait. America needs you now. This is about freedom.
Bishop, what's going on?
Virus. Getting vaccinated is among the most patriotic things that you can do.
Oh my God.
Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the mayor of the great city of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you all for being here. I want to give a hearty thanks to our members of the federal congressional delegation, all the work that you've done to make sure that we are getting our fair share of resources, but also your incredible leadership during these difficult times. I want to recognize Lieutenant Governor Diane Stratton and Senate President Don Harmon. Thank you all for your leadership. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to make transformative change in American lives. This moment is big and demands bold action because lives literally are hanging in the balance. Build Back Better is not just a catchy slogan. It's a value statement, and one that I wholeheartedly embrace. But all these things will be for naught if we don't heed the advice and the leadership of our president and our public health leadership as well. We've got to get people vaccinated.
Okay. How you doing, Bishop?
Good evening,
Bishop. What up?
God bless you
What's
both.
going on? How you doing, man? Oh yeah.
Oh, hanging in
You
there.
heard
you
that
too.
guy say. You heard him say. It's not much discussion on what the right choice is.
Right.
Yeah. It's not much discussion on what the right choice is. What are you talking about, man? How you gonna say it's not up for debate? What are you talking about? What are we doing?
That's the propaganda. That's their the way that they're trying to get everybody to take it. They're trying to convince there's no other choice and no other way.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He says no other choice. I mean, no debate on what the right choice is. Yeah. Now, I'm bringing this information to you because Biden. They were talking to a union, so they're trying to get unions to bow down to this agenda. Now, Frank, I think you should go to probably about 20 minutes into it. Fast forward about 20 minutes, and I want you to hear the stuff he's saying. All right, let's see what he's saying. It was interesting.
A firefighter, a cop, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any of them, so I had to be president.
Be in business everywhere and connect it all with Square.
But look, it's been a month since I laid out a 6-part plan to accelerate the path out of this pandemic. 1, vaccinate the unvaccinated. 2, continue to keep the vaccinated protected. Keep children safe and schools open, which the government's doing. Increase testing and masking. Protect the economic recovery and improve the care of the people with COVID-19. We've made real progress across the board. More than 185 million Americans are now fully vaccinated. More than 75% of eligible Americans have gotten at least 1 shot. We made great progress on equity as well, in closing the gaps in race as well as ethnic vaccination rates. Recent data shows Latino Americans, Black Americans, Native Americans, and Asian Americans have now gotten vaccinated about the comparable rate as white Americans. That's not happened before. And our work on equity isn't done, but it's an important piece of progress. We're also starting to see less COVID-19 cases in a vast majority of communities around the country. Cases are down this past month by 40%. Hospitalizations are down by 25%. We're headed in the right direction if we keep our eye on the ball here. We still have a long way to go. The fact is, this has been a pandemic of the unvaccinated. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units. The unvaccinated patients are leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or in need of a cancer operation, and so much more because they can't get into the ICU, they can't get into the operating rooms. The unvaccinated also put our economy at risk because people are reluctant to go out. And think about this. Even in places where there is no restriction on going to restaurants and gyms and movie theaters, people are not going in anywhere near the numbers because they're worried they're going to get sick. I've tried everything in my power to get people vaccinated. The first thing I did when I was sworn in office on January 20th is I bought.
All right. That's one thing he said on there. People not going out because they're scared of getting sick. from other people. Do you know how much of a lie that shit sound, man? Do you
That's
know
what I'm
how
saying. It is a lie,
preposterous
though.
that is, man? Huh?
That is preposterous.
I just saw 70,000 people at a football game last week. Give me a damn break. Yeah, please stop lying to me.
Shit.
That's right.
But people actually believe this shit, though, man. That's the sad thing about it, man. People actually believe this, man. They don't do what you just did and looked and seen the football games that have been going on fucking the past weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Monday night football, Sunday night football.
Well, you know, we get ready for the World Series. You know, they're going to be thousands of people there at every one of those games. The World Series is going to be this month naturally. It's always in October. Football is starting up again. Those stadiums are full. Hockey is starting up again. Those stadiums are full. Basketball season, those stadiums are full. Those arenas are full. You know, so I don't know what he's talking about. Even wrestling now, they're back in full swing. I look at those programs now. You got thousands of people at those arenas for all kinds of events, boxing and all the rest. So this scare tactic just does not pan out, and people are not buying it the way Biden would like you to think they're buying it. They're not buying it that way. They are going out. They are entertaining. They are going to restaurants. They are going to other places. So this idea that everybody has self-imposed a quarantine on themselves is an exaggeration, to say the least.
And then he's saying that about hospital beds, the unvaccinated. So I'm confused. Are the unvaccinated going to the hospital because they caught COVID, or are unvaccinated working on these people that got it, like nurses? What is he trying to say? The unvaccinated are all in hospitals. So are they sick? What is he trying to say? There's no details. Just okay, they're in hospitals. Okay, what are they doing in the hospital? So there's vaccinated getting sick, but that's not even true though.
Well, I was in the hospital in June not for COVID, and I'm an unvaccinated person. I went there because I had sepsis and a bladder infection. Nothing to do with coronavirus at all. But I'm a non-vaccine person. I didn't go there because I had a coronavirus outbreak. I went there for other reasons. There's like he mentioned, the heart attacks, the this, the that. People go in the hospital every day. People die by the thousands every single day by all kinds of conditions. All kinds of conditions. Cancer has not been cured yet. Diabetes has not been cured yet. Other diseases, sepsis and bladder infections and all the kinds of cancers that we have, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, those things continue. Just because we have this pandemic, don't make it seem like that's the only disease out there that's killing folks. You know, it's making it seem like that's the only thing that people are dying from. That we're not dying from the flu. We're not dying from pneumonia. We're not dying from other conditions. There are thousands of conditions that can kill you, and they're killing folk every single day. All of those conditions. I have someone just recently died in my family of cancer. Nothing to do with COVID. They had prostate cancer. That you'd have had that. He would have had that rather, whether he was had COVID or not, whether COVID was out or not, whether the coronavirus was out or not. He had pancreatic cancer. Or prostate, I'm sorry. He had prostate cancer, the one I'm talking about. You get that no matter what. That's been around forever. People are still dying from AIDS. So don't make it seem like that's the only thing. People die from heart attacks every single day. Gunshot wounds, head wounds, other kind of accidents, falling down and hitting your head and breaking your neck. That happens every day. But the way this is kind of being projected is the only thing we have to worry about is the coronavirus. We get rid of coronavirus and everything is smooth sailing from then on. And what a bunch of crock that is. Cancer patients, don't worry about it. If we get rid of the coronavirus, you'll be okay. Come on now. That's almost asinine. That's ridiculous.
I agree, Bishop.
Wow. Hey, now look, I want you to go a little bit further into this because he's going to talk about that economic recovery depends on Wall Street, because Wall Street and Goldman Sachs even say that vaccine mandate. When he said that let me know that this ain't about no pandemic, it's about money. That's what they let me know.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think? What do you think? Like,
no, don't let it go.
Proving that they work. Starting in July, when I announced the first vaccination requirement for the federal government, about 95 million eligible Americans were unvaccinated. This was mentioned a little bit earlier. Today, we reduced that number to 67 eligible Americans who aren't vaccinated. Today, we released a new report outlining effective vaccination requirements that are already proving their worth. This report shows three things. First, vaccination requirements result in more people getting vaccinated. In the past few weeks, as more and more organizations have implemented their own requirements, they've seen their vaccination rates rise dramatically.
Oh, you forcing motherfuckers out of work, man.
Defense has gone from 67% of active duty forces being vaccinated to 97% as of tomorrow. Vaccination just 6 weeks into this vaccination requirement. That's how quickly it's moved. We're also seeing this at colleges and universities across the country. More than 95% of students at colleges and universities like Northwestern, University of Illinois, Chicago are vaccinated.
Same or next day doctor's appointments, in person or online.
Dan Abrams Live, the new show, weeknights at 5 on News Nation.
Now we're going to see in health systems around the country as well. Rush University Medical Center here in Chicago has gone from 72% to more than 95% of its employees fully vaccinated under its requirements. These requirements work. And as the Business Roundtable and others told me when I announced the first requirement, that encouraged businesses to feel they could come in and demand the same thing of their employees. More people are getting vaccinated. More lives are being saved. Let's be clear. When you see headlines and reports of mass firings and hundreds of people losing their jobs, look at the bigger story. I've spoken with Scott Kirby, CEO of United Airlines, who's here today. United went from 59% of their employees to 99% of their employees in less than 2 months after implementing the requirement, 99%. And by the way, Scott, I want you to know I've instructed the Justice Department to make sure that we deal with the violence on aircraft coming from those people who are taking issues. We're going to deal with that. In the last days of their implementation, they cut the remaining number of employees left to get vaccinated in half. They went from 67,000 United employees to 67,000, 66,800 complied. People chose to get vaccinated. That's why we're seeing more companies signing up. I recently met with the CEOs of Disney, Microsoft, who I'm familiar with here, Walgreens, to hear about their requirements. The Business Roundtable represents 200 of the largest businesses in the world.
Frank, can you stop me for a moment? Just pause it for a moment, please. I just want to make a statement.
America's largest aerospace company.
I just want to say, he's talking out of two sides of his mouth. First of all, he says it's required. He then uses the word mandatory. Then he uses the word chooses to. If it's mandatory, it's not my choice. If it's required, that's not my choice. Choice is when I can decide whether I will take it or not. That's my choice. But when you make it mandatory that my job is on the line if I don't take it, naturally, if I have a family of 3 children and a wife and myself, you're forcing my hand. That's not a choice. You're making me take it. Either you're going to make someone take it or you're going to give them the right to choose whether to take it. That's 2 different words altogether with 2 different meanings. So he's talking out of one side, it's mandatory, it's required, but they're making the choice. You're not making the choice when you're made to do something. That's not a choice.
Bishop, I agree. That's all fast. That's so true.
Yeah,
that's
so he's talking, he talks double. You have to listen to this man. He's double very shrewd in how he talks. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Mandatory and choice are 2 different words altogether.
Oh,
with
yeah.
2 different meanings.
Bishop says that's true. Bishop be spitting. That's so true.
Yeah, so I mean, let's
you
call
the same thing. You know the same thing, Bishop?
Yeah.
And people believe it's crap.
That's the same thing.
I know.
Like that, this is really our choice. And they talk about if you don't take it, you're going to get fired. That's not a choice to me.
But
That's
then
a threat. That's
right,
a
and
threat.
the real scandalous thing is how he said there's reports of people walking out of their people are walking out of their jobs. Think of the other picture. Like, dude, that's 70,000 people. Dude, what are you talking about, man?
The bigger picture.
That's a whole fucking corporation fucking leaving, dude. What do you mean? How's that not a big picture and shit? But see, like you said, dude, I ain't gonna speak on it, man. But I got relatives that fucking that feed into this bullshit, man. That's why I don't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't go for that. I can't go for that.
But look though, when you started back, he gonna talk about Wall Street and Goldman Sachs. When you hear that, you can be like, wait a minute, hold on. This ain't about no pandemic. This is about money.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, continue. I just want you to hear it.
Companies. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, who I met with yesterday, the chairman of the board, Northrop Grumman. They all just announced plans to implement vaccination requirements. Even this I always get a kick out of. Fox News. Fox News requires vaccinations for all employees.
I'm glad he's. You know what? Can I stop it for a second? Wait. Can I stop that for a second?
Yeah. Good.
Let me stop that for a second. Wait. You know what? You know what? Out of all this line he's doing, that might be the only truthful thing he said, dude. I believe that. Fox News is full of shit. They talk all that Republican, that shit. Fox News is full of shit, dude. Fox News is like another version of CNN, dude. I'm telling you. Just for the conservatives. That's all that is, man.
But you know what I say though, Frank, about that? I say this, that just because you're saying that just because they took the vaccine, let me tell you this, they took it because their management, who's run by a multi-billionaire and who's getting a kickback from all of this, that's who owns Fox. He's mandated his people take the vaccine. However, the thing is not whether you take it or not. It's the idea that you should have a choice in whether you take it or not.
Right.
And that's what Fox's people and the commentators are saying. We're not even given a choice. It's like Biden just said. I mean, it's mandatory. It's required. That's not a choice. So Fox is saying if you take it if you want to. But if you don't want to, you should have the right not to do it. And that's my position. It's not about taking it, you know, that whether someone took it or not. It's, did I have a choice to take it? I choose not to take it. Now, if you're going to knock on my door, just like my doctor said, well, you can't come into my office anymore until you take it because I'm afraid of my children catching something that you may have. You're forcing my hand. You're trying to force my hand. And I see that as a problem more than the fact of you're choosing whether you want to take it or not take it. Like you said, Nick, I had family that have taken it. I have family that have not taken it. But I think it should be a choice. It should not be mandated. It should not be required.
You know what they said, Bishop?
What's that?
And they keep on saying, before you came on, it's your patriotic duty. It's your patriotic duty. It's your patriotic duty.
That's now it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Terms like that. Like we're the cause of this pandemic. Now it's the pandemic. It was.
Bishop, I got a question. Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop, I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. You're in Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
People scared to go to the Philadelphia Eagles game?
Nope. Nope. Not a one.
Are they scared to go to the Phillies game?
No shit.
Nope.
No shit.
76 is about to start playing in a few weeks, right?
Right.
They're going to 76 game too, right?
Oh yeah, they're going. They've been to the Phillies game.
He's telling you that people are scared to go out because they're scared of getting sick from an unvaccinated person is a bunch of bullshit.
Absolutely.
And I mean, honestly, they're telling on themselves about how inefficient the jab is, because if the jab was so inefficient, why would they be so scared to catch something? If the jab wasn't working, right?
That's a good point, Frank. That's a good point. If this thing's so effective, why are you still so afraid of gathering in great numbers and touching folk and breathing the air and all of that sort of stuff that they keep on saying what they're afraid of? If it's so effective, and you got more than 75% of the people already taking it, What's the problem?
Well, hey, look, Bishop, I want you to hear a little bit more live. You
go
trip off this. We got to trip off this, okay? Go ahead, play a little bit more.
What's going on, Tim? What's going on? What's going on, Pioneer? What's going on, y'all?
What up, Tim? But I want you to hear a little bit more of this crap.
Airlines all announced requirements. The leaders of Chicago are stepping up. As I said, the mayor, Mayor Lightfoot, Governor Pritzker are requiring vaccinations for state and city workers, healthcare workers, and teachers. Chicagoland Chamber Congressman Jack Levin, who is here, has called for all members of the chamber to require vaccinations for their employees going back to work in person. I came here to Clayco to thank this company for doing the right thing. Today, Clayco is announcing it's going to require all employees to be fully vaccinated or test once a week. It matters. I know these decisions aren't easy.
Why do they keep doing the commercial? Is that my phone or is that?
I just got a card insurance.
What's up with these commercials? Oh my God.
$600.
Sorry about that, y'all. Damn, man. Why is it? Yo. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry about that.
The best way to pay less is with AIS.
Call you back.
But you're setting an example and a powerful example. Second thing I like to say, today's report shows that vaccination requirements are good for the economy. Not only increasing vaccination rates, but to help send people back to work. Back to work. You know, when I first started the vaccination program, and we got all that vaccine enough for everyone, we're vaccinating 3 million people a day. We're getting very close before things began to slow down. The economy is growing leaps and bounds. 6%, the fastest growing major economy in the world. In fact, increased vaccination coverage results in as many as 5 million American workers going back to work because they feel safe they can go back to work. There'll be more economic demand to drive people back to the workforce. But don't take it from me, not from some liberal think tank this comes from, but here's what Wall Street's saying. Goldman Sachs, quote, vaccination will have a positive impact on employment. It means less spread of COVID-19, which will help people return to work. Moody's on Wall Street. Vaccination means fewer infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. In turn, it means a stronger economy.
Now you heard that. You heard him say Goldman Sachs and Wall Street, right? You heard him, right?
Yep.
Okay. What the hell Goldman Sachs and Wall Street got to do with the damn virus? Who getting paid? He just told you.
Yeah, he just told you.
And my question to people, are you stupid if you don't understand what this fool just told you? He just told you Goldman Sachs and Wall Street.
That's right.
They got pandemic bonds. What are you talking about?
Out of his own lips. That's nobody.
Yeah, he just told you. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This ain't about no virus. This is about money, profit. Because you don't mention Wall Street. Like I'm just dissecting this interview for you, right? Mm-hmm. You can tell, like Bishop said, he talking out the side of his neck, but he ain't just talking outside of the neck. He is goddamn stupid. Well, he's not stupid. He's letting you know. He's actually letting you know. But if you're stupid if you can't pick this up.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what because he's obvious what he's saying. It's obvious what he's saying, but we're still going to believe the rhetoric that he talks instead of the real deal that he's telling us clearly. He's not even trying to hide it. He's not trying to camouflage it. So we can't blame him. We have to blame ourselves when we buy into this stuff. because he's not trying to hide nothing. He's telling you it's Goldman Sachs, it's Wall Street. Thank you, Mr. Walt Disney. Thank you, Mr. CNN. Thank you, Mr. Corporations. He's thanking them for cooperating. All the unions and all the rest. He's making it clear who's benefiting from all of this. When the bottom line, he should thank Bill Gates too. He's starting to thank everybody. Thank him too. In China, Wuhan, China, thank them as well. All this is working for their benefit. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of China. Thank you and your companies.
Go ahead and go 3 more minutes because he's gonna say a couple more things. Then we're gonna exit him out.
Yeah, his ass, man. He this dude, man.
One economist called vaccine requirements, and I quote, the single most powerful, he didn't say single, the most powerful economic stimulus ever enacted, end of quote. Third point I'd like to make. The report shows that vaccination requirements have broad public support. Yes, some object, and some object very strenuously. And some are making a political statement out of this issue. But a strong bipartisan majority of Americans support vaccinations. They know it isn't about politics. It's about life and death. That's what it's about. It's about looking out for one another. It's about being patriotic, doing the right thing. Folks, vaccination requirements work, and there's nothing new about them. They've been around for decades. We've been living with
Was that a signal right there? What was that?
Lives. Students, healthcare professionals.
That was a signal right there, dude. You didn't see that? Wait, hold up. What was it? Why did he like? Why did he do that? What was that? Was that Masonic or something?
Come on, man, what's that
That was a little signal he did right there, like the little gesture. But I mean, if people believe it, man, and you're a grown ass adult, I don't know what to tell you. I can see a child believing this shit, you know, a kid or something. Because kids are supposed to be gullible like that and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're just learning and shit. Their minds are still impressionable. But a grown ass adult, nah, man. I gotta look at you like a fool, you know.
Let me say something to you. No disrespect to you, Bishop here. You know, you're the elder statesman, right?
Thank you.
Matter of fact, that's really what I want to get. You can actually cut Biden off, really, because actually he's just talking about you being patriotic and stuff, and that's the right thing. I'll just remove this, right? I heard enough bullshit, but I would just let you know how crazy this stuff is, right? Now, anybody who watched that, you can put in your comments in the chat. What do you think about that bunch of nonsense? That was a bunch of nonsense, one of Bishop. Tell us, what is a bunch of nonsense?
It was. First of all, it was too much contradiction. It was too much propaganda in my mind. You're trying to feed an agenda. I think in some points he was very clear and the most truthful part of it and the most revealing part is when he talked about Goldman Sachs, when he talked about Wall Street. Those are the most honest remarks he made. The other ones are all suspect in my humble estimation. Yeah. They're all suspect. They're hidden behind another agenda. And then he talks about the agenda but look how he did it. He did all that shamil, patriotism, requirements, vaccines, and the real culprits are the non-vaccinated. He did all that. Then finally, almost at the end, within 3 minutes before he ends his speech, he then brings up Goldman Sachs and Goldman Sachs and Wall Street. After he's done all this other stuff, and keep in mind, they're very shrewd. They know the attention span of people usually ends at about the first 5 or 10 minutes of a speech. That's where you get your audience. That first 5, what do you say the first 5 to 10 minutes of a speech is what resonates with people. They usually don't even end. They don't usually wait to watch it to the end. They usually end it after.
You're right. You're right. You know what happened? You're right. The other day on the news, and Biden lying like hell too, because the other day on the news, they came out and said that only 50% of the population is taking it, right?
Right.
But they said that we don't know where the information coming from. They said that it's not government doing it. It's the data screwed because it's not the government doing it. it's coming from other sites. And the guy, matter of fact, on Lindsey Graham, it got booed, and they had said that a lot of people get the information on Facebook and other sources. So what I'm telling you, the other day.
But listen, what he said, and he revealed something. He said the information that I'm giving you is not from the liberal think tanks. See, he says it. See, it's weird to listen to people. He actually tells you where he got it from. But he's saying it's not from there. Nobody said it was. Why'd you bring it up? Nobody said it was.
Let me tell you why he said that. Can I explain that?
It's the truth. That's why.
Can I explain that?
On.
Because he tried to come up with a liberal think tank. That's why.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
No, we didn't say that. Did we say that?
That's right.
Nope.
Actually,
okay.
He's telling who's giving the information. The liberal think tank, the progressives of the party, those radicals. That's who's giving them the information. The liberal think tank.
So, Bishop, I'm gonna say something to you. I want to say something to you because we respect you here, right?
I hope so. I
Not you per se, but they always say, when I was a child, I did child. You know the verse, right?
Yeah, when I was a child, I thought as a child.
It seems to me and Frank.
When I became a man, I was going to away childish things.
Me and Frank were talking a couple of days ago, right? And we were saying, is it just us, or does it seem like the older generation, not you per se, but a lot of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still think like children. Not everybody. Like I said, we got exceptions. But the attention span that's coming on, like, I'm like, if you were sitting there watching this, and I sat there and watched it yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I keep on, and I heard the governor say it. I heard Mayor Lightfoot say it, right?
Right.
And they all said it's the right thing to do. There's no debate about what you should do. There's no second opinion, right?
Right.
You know, the old saying, Bishop, and you know this. There's no end-all, be-all in any situation.
Right.
You always get a second opinion. Hey, Bishop, what do you think about this? Hey, Frank, what do you think about this? You know, I would think about something. Candace Owens, lover or hater, said the best statement I ever heard her say in her life yesterday. I love Candace Owens, what she said. She said the one thing she loved about the Biden administration is they don't even pretend to care about black people.
That's true.
That's what Candace Owens said. She is exactly right. She hit the nail on the head like a dart. And, you know, the Biden administration promised you $45 billion to HBCUs, right? At the end, you're only getting $2 billion. While Afghanistan's getting $6.3 billion in resettlement. Hey, and daggone Al Sharpton just came out a couple weeks ago and said, Biden, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Hey, look, I'm Pimp Biden, baby. Shit, look here, I'm gonna be nice. I bitch slapped the shit out you goddamn niggas on that damn Zoom conference and told you let's get something straight. I'm dictating the conversation and I'm telling you what it's gonna be. You're gonna have to work with Hispanics. You ain't getting a damn thing. He told you he punked you. He punked you. And I ain't showing you, I'm gonna punk you again.
Don't look to me. Look to the Hispanic. Don't look to me. Don't ask me for nothing. You ask the Hispanics when they get in power. And look, and he said,
no. Look to the Afghanistan people now.
Yeah.
Look at them. Yeah, but he bitch slapped them in that meeting. You know, he told them what it is.
He showed them that we are underclass, though. That's what we are and shit. He showed them put them in their place.
To them, what I say, and what I mean. And he said it like that to grown men and women, some of them even older than he is. And you're talking to a grown man and a woman and women in that meeting like they were kids. What I say, and what I mean. Who the heck do you think? Who you God? What you say, and what you mean. Who are you? I can question you. You ain't nothing but a man. Put your pants on the same way I put my pants on. You're nothing but a man. And ain't much of a man in my estimation. Ain't much of a man. I'm being very kind by calling you a man, as far as I'm concerned. And you want to talk to my our supposed black leaders like that? What I say, I mean, and what I mean, I say. Who in the hell, man? And they're like house Negroes. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, master. They come out to me and talk about it was a very constructive meeting. That's what Al Sharpton said. It was a very constructive meeting. I think he understands where we're coming from. What? The man that scolded you like you were his child. Scolded you over and over again, telling you, don't come to me. It's going to be the Hispanics that you have to go to in 2030. And in the meantime, this is 2021. In the meantime, what do? We can't go to you. We can't go to them yet. So I guess we aren't supposed to go to nobody. We ain't going to count on nobody. We can't count on nobody, which is the truth of the matter. He did say the truth there. We can't count on nobody. That's why we better count on ourselves. Worrying about these people and all that. I'm not worried about them. I'm not looking to them for help. I'm not seeking their help. I don't even expect their help because they're not going to do it. They haven't done it thus far. They're not going to do it tomorrow, and they're not going to do it ever. And until we get that in our head, we're going to keep on voting that straight Democratic ticket. Not me no more, baby. I'm not even a Democrat. I left that party. I said, I can't keep on pretending I'm a part of that nonsense, that hypocrisy, that corruption. I can't be a part of that. And every time I say I'm a Democrat, I'm a part of it. I don't care whether I vote another way or not. I said I can't even be associated. See, sometimes you got to break your association. No, you may vote your conscience. Like I haven't voted for a Democrat for president in 3 elections. But I said, but when they said, what party am I? It's automatically, I got to say Democrat. That's what I'm registered. What are you registered? I'm a Democrat. So I said, I can't even be associated. I can't even be called a member of that party, let alone whether I vote. It's neither here nor there anymore for me. I don't even want to be associated with the Democratic Party, let alone whether I voted for them or not. I don't care. I don't want to be associated.
Let me bring up something right quick. I just want to bring up the loony, I'm going to call them the loony left, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you realize this week, they've been getting on Dave Chappelle again.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I don't have a problem with Dave Chappelle, Bishop. I mean, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure Frank don't.
I just like your show.
But, well, I do too.
I did.
But he made the trans mad, right?
Yep.
You know, Bishop, sooner or later there's a point in life where you got to say, the hell with these people. It's going to be the hell with it, and it's over. Look, I don't need to be questioned by you. I've been leaving you alone too long. Like I told Frank in New York, right now people protesting about the mandates. Then they're going to start fighting, right?
Right.
Anytime you press the issue and you keep pressing and you keep pressing and you keep pressing, it's going to lead to violence sooner or later. That is not going to be silent, okay?
Pioneer, what do you say? Hey, BJ Pioneer said we can't even count on many of our people. We can't even depend on a nigga to get your order straight at the Wendy's drive-thru. Pioneer, you too much, dude.
He's right though. You better check.
Right, though.
You better check your bag before you leave the drive-thru. You better check your bag. See if you got everything that you ordered in the bag. If not, you ordered a pizza. You may order a hamburger. You get a chicken burger, whatever. You better look at that bag. You ordered 3 French fries. You're looking to get 1. You better look at that bag before you leave out of there. Check it out.
So I got a question. This is not something I bring up too often, but me and Frank were having a discussion. I'm sure there's some ladies in the chat. So what is the problem with the black male, black woman relationships today? And everybody gets a turn on this one. Bishop, you're a lot older than me, so I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm really saddened by it. I really am, because to me, we're in this thing together. It's weird how I'm gonna tell you the truth. I believe that the white society loves to separate us. They do it in all kinds of ways. They do it in terms of male, female. They do it in ways of colorism, dark skin versus light skin. They do it in all kinds of different ways, and we feed into it all. And the only one that's going to hurt is we as a people. We already are a minority group. We only make up 13% of the population. Majority of us are women. There's more women than there are black men. Then you take away the black man and put him in prison. You take away the black man by murdering and all of that kind of gang banging kind of lifestyle. You take them away by them becoming part of the LGBTQ community. You take all of the men away from the family, and then all you have are women leading the way. And my problem is this, that we need to come together. There shouldn't be no division amongst us. Should be no division amongst us, because it's the act of the enemy to keep us divided. He's always did that. All the way back in slave time, field Negro versus the house Negro. And I used to say to this, I said, they were both slaves, first of all. And secondly, the house Negro sometimes had it worse than the field Negro, because after the field Negro stopped working, he was through until the next morning. The house Negro would have to get up at 3 a.m. if Mrs. Baby start crying and it need to be nursed again. They worked all the time, because anytime the master wanted a mint julep, I don't care whether it's 2 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, they had to make that man a mint julep. They never had a time where they were free. Slavery is a condition that enslaves people. And I'm going to tell you the truth, we still have a slave mentality where we still are divided, where we still are separate. And we got to stop this separation. Women, men, we have to unite as one. Or we have a singular problem. And that problem is white supremacy. That problem is racism. That problem is the lack of equity and equality in this nation. No matter whether you're a male or a female, if you're black, you got to get back. And so I just think that I remember a time when our women were revered, men protected our women. They did not talk about our women did not talk about the men. We were clearly a part of each other's lives, and we moved ahead. Society did that. Society, the civil rights movement in some ways, through bringing up welfare and other things that separated the household. The man couldn't be in the house, and the woman gets support for the child. So the man had to leave the household or had to pretend like he wasn't a member of the household. Families broken up and all that kind of stuff. The 1994 crime bill broke up families. A man, just a little ounce of weed, now is in prison for 20, 30 years. By the time he gets out, the child is grown, never even knew his daddy. If he saw his daddy, he was behind bars for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then he's gone out of his life for 20 more years. So we have to understand that as long as we are divided, we'll never get anything. We'll never get anything. In my humble estimation, the women have been the standard bearers because of the lack of men. The women have been the standard bearers. They're the ones who kept the church going. They're the ones who kept the family going. They're the ones who kept the young people going. They're the ones who sat there day in and day out teaching their children to do their arithmetic. And they went to the parent-teacher association meeting and the parents' night to see whether their child is doing well in school. So, we as men have to protect our women. We have to shield our women. We have to adore our women and not just throw them by the wayside, in particular those who gain a little bit of power and a little bit of money. The first thing you know, the woman that was there during the struggle was a black woman. The woman that's there during the glory days is now the white woman. She's on your arm now when you're wealthy, when you're now a famous basketball player, now, or baseball or football or entertainer. Now you got a white woman on your shoulder, and now you're on your arm, and she's enjoying all the benefits that black wife, that black woman, that black mother, that black lady in your life helped you struggle to get. When you finally get it, you drop her and pick up a white woman. And women, you got to stop. Stop emancipating your men. The women have to stop trying to berate the men. There's a reason why the black man has become what you think is someone who doesn't know how to take care of. It was maliciously done. He was separated from the family. He's always been separated from the family. So he don't know how to be a father. He doesn't know how to be a husband. He hardly knows how to be a man because he's always been subjected by the man and identified by the man and forced by the man to be what the man wanted him to be. And so we have to get it together, folks. We have to get it together. This old man just looking at things from history and looking at things the way they are today. Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah.
Hey, look, let me say something to you. And people might not agree with this stance, but I've been a lot more harder lately. You know, I talked to a lot of women in my day, but you know, over the last couple of years, I've been seeing some real crazy stuff. Women letting guys drive a car. Women, you know, saying, you know, hey, can I drive or whatever, right? I'm sitting there saying now, technically a lot of these things don't sound too bad, but they cause serious problems because when you're a man, I'm talking about one of these simps or whatever, you gonna say, hold on, I'm a man, I'm supposed to uplift you. You know, I don't need you to do all that. You know, just be a woman, be a man. You know what I mean? You know, like they always say, used to say, who's wearing the pants or whatever. Maybe not, we're not doing that far, but you know, well, we can't take it that far, really. But what I'm saying is, when you start seeing all these problems, men driving the car, women riding around men, it looks like Aretha Franklin, who's zooming who, but who's really in charge? Like TLC, you know, they had the song "No Scrubs," right? You remember that song, right? So I use it as a template to say, I mean, it shouldn't really, these issues, they kind of got to get resolved because, you know, it's like if you do that, then you give them money, you give them clothes. Hey, look, we're not trying, the movie Baby Boy showed you what it is when it doesn't, it's not a pretty picture. And then he doesn't respect you most of the time. He hits you, whatever, you know, right? Sometimes, you know, sometimes something to do. And it calls for a more stressful life. So, now a lot of people don't get into it, but it just is what it is. But you do see these problems. And
Well, when I was growing up,
more problems. I do thank you, but I thank you for bringing up the problems because the problems, you know,
when I grew up in the 50s,
they're too high. Well, this is why we get Dave Chappelle saying something and everybody gets mad, but really Dave Chappelle says the right thing. You know what I'm saying? This is why we get mad at stuff like that.
No doubt about it.
I mean, I think it's both. I think it's both. We both got issues, man, the men and the women. But at the same time, we didn't have this issue. Like I always say, man, you know what I'm saying? The 60s, man, you know what I'm saying? 50s, 60s, man, you know, black couples were married more than white couples. So this kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is like a 40, 50 something year old phenomenon that we're happening right now. Anyway, and I see a lot of this shit really getting worse because of social media. You know what I'm saying? Really, you got these women called their divestment channels and shit talking about they leaving black men and shit. And you got these black men talking about black men go your own way and all this. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, you know, there's no outrage when it comes down to people actually causing the division on YouTube. People that know that actually are doing it. There's no outrage for those people. There's only outrage for Kevin Samuels. That's it. There's no outrage for Cynthia G. There's no outrage when the women do it. The women need to be held accountable just like the men. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that all the time. And I don't care how bad it is between black men and black women. Women still need to be held accountable for their actions. That's not on black men. It's your actions. You feel what I'm saying? Black men doesn't do shit and be like, oh, it's a woman's action. So it don't work like that. Every adult needs to be held accountable for their actions. I'm not seeing that with a lot of these black women nowadays. I'm not seeing it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think certain black men need to be held accountable for their action when it comes down to certain things that they're not. Like if you're Alphabet Mafia black, you're not held accountable for nothing. You notice that? But if you're a masculine black man, you're held accountable for everything. Even by the women. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but that welfare, dude, that Claudine era, that welfare stuff, dude, that made the black woman turn against the black man. We can't forget a lot of black men in the 70s, 60s, 70s were going to Vietnam, getting drafted, not coming back home. A lot of people forgot about that. A lot of people forgot about the Korean War. See, we forget about certain things and stuff to fit our narrative, dude. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain reasons why certain black men weren't. You got black women taking their kids from the men. We don't talk about that. You see what I'm saying? You do have deadbeat black men, but that's all I see is that's all you see is the community is just the deadbeat black men, and that's it. Black women need to be held accountable for their actions too. And when you're taking accountability, Planned Parenthood, look at Planned Parenthood. When you aborted 20 million babies from now to 73, dude, that's not all the black men. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? There was no preventative measures before having those kids. You see what I'm saying? There was just drastic measures. You see what I'm saying? Look at how these some of these kids are being raised, dude. These kids, a lot of these kids, they don't grow up childhood, they survive childhood. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We can't forget some of these women, the women and boys are getting raised by women. You see what I'm saying? We can't forget that. But at the same time, I am seeing a lack of leadership from these men because you got a gang of men effeminized by the women and by the lack of manhood. So that's both. You said that's kind of like both the black man and woman on that one with the kids. But dude, we both need to be held accountable. My thing is we both need to be held accountable for, to certain standards. We are the men. We need to lead, but at the same time, when we lead, the woman has to not look at it in a hostile way. If you don't want to follow my lead, then go on to a simp, because I can't be a masculine dude and you want to lead me. Then that means I'm not masculine. Why do you need me then?
Well, but let me say
don't
this.
Just want me for sex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't just see the masculinity in a black man for sex and for monetary gain. Don't just see the masculinity in those two things. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's my thing. But I mean, at the same time, the Alpha Mafia plays a lot to do with this too, because they infiltrated a lot in the black community. One of Dave Chappelle, one of the little groups that came after Dave Chappelle was a black group, supposedly. You feel me? So that's another thing too. The divide and conquer is the Alphabet Mafia has a lot to do with that too, because they're making all this cisgender and all this bullshit terms and all this bullshit. So I mean, it has it's on both of us. But at the same time, we're people say we can't, we don't have nothing to protect these women. No other group, a lot of either, but they just treat it better by the white man. That's all it is. The white man's just giving them more shit.
Let me say something right quick. Can I ask Bishop?
I mean, you
feel what I'm saying? One last topic.
Do these Afghanis, do they have a fucking force and all the security force and all this to protect their women out here? No, they're getting hooked up by.
I got one thing to say, and I got to ask Bishop the last question of the night. I ain't gonna hold you up too long on this one. All right?
Okay.
And this gonna be you gotta explain this. Me and Frank be asking the question, but we got you on the show, so we're gonna ask the question. You've been alive for 70 years.
True.
The black churches, for the most part, failing, right?
I agree with that.
I got a clown named Shopton talking about why vaccines work. That ain't your job, dude. I don't need you to be on MSNBC talking about that, okay? I got a problem with Barry Soetoro or Barack Obama coming to the AME church to sing Amazing Grace. And I got more problems with people that use religion as a crutch. You know, I was talking to a young lady a couple weeks ago. She said, I just been praying on my problems, right? Well, I hate to tell you this, Bishop, and I'll tell you this, and you the pastor, but I got to tell you, faith without works is dead, and you can pray to the east, you can pray in the west, you can pray in the south, you can pray in the north. If you just sit there and don't get up and move, you can't do nothing about it. Right?
Well, like you said, the book of James tells us, faith without works is dead. Everyone that prayed after they got off their knees, they did. Moses prayed, and then he led the Israelites out of Egypt. Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, then he hung on Calvary's cross. On and on and on. They all prayed, but after they prayed, they got up and did something. Nobody prays and stays on their knees in prayer and do nothing. Prayer is supposed to give you guidance and strength to do what you have to do to make things better. That's what I think. And people that
Well, let me say something to you.
church that
That's
have
interesting.
in society and in politics, or not so much politics, but in the betterment of the people, is not a church in my mind. You know, the church has to be the leader. Going way back, I'm talking about African American times. You know, Nat Turner was a preacher. Gabriel Prosser was a preacher. Even John Brown was a preacher. Everything that ever happened for us started in the church. I don't know what happened to the church. The church has now become, just like you said, Bernard, has become nothing but just a parrot of the Democratic Party. That's all they've become. That is the mouthpiece of the Democratic Party. That's why, you know, you very seldom see.
Well, let me say something.
Invite
Let me say something here. I want to say this. I want to bring this up. And I was telling Frank, we got the little small churches, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to be dead on with you. T6, Club Dollar, these guys, right? I want to say this to you, buddy. I'm going to say that the modern day church has become, as they say, an habitation, an infestation of devils and sheep. You got wolves in sheep clothing, some of them, people that don't know what they're talking about, and you leading your congregation to a bad path. I always say you want to be on the right side of history, not the wrong side. And the way they're doing it, leading on the wrong side. But that's just how it goes. That's how I look at it. Let me say something though. But I will say that I do get disappointed when I see all these buck-broken men in the church. I hear men saying they're going to church for a woman, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. We got to save lives now. That's what you say we're doing. And we got to fix this problem. But the only thing I will say is that me personally, and I am, I guess, Bishop, you've been talking for a while now. I'm one of the most flexible people you ever probably meet. I can talk to a Muslim, Hebrew Israelite. I was with them last week. I can talk to anybody, right? But I don't really have the problem when I talk to people. As a matter of fact, I can talk to people who don't have even what they call a religious background. They say I worship the universe or whatever. So what I'm saying, I'm not really into, getting
organized,
upset, but I have more problem when politicians use the church. Oh, let's have a fish fry and vote. Down here in Virginia, we just had they're trying to get a casino here in Richmond or something, and they had the clergy meeting at the church. Casino and church don't mix to me, don't ask me. Right?
That's what it be.
That's me.
What did Christ do? Didn't he go into the church and turn over the tables and whip the money changers? Didn't he do that? That was the peace-loving Jesus, the Prince of Peace. A whip and whip the money changers out of the temple. Because what did he say? You made my house of prayer into a den of thieves. So sometimes we make Christ he's just a little docile, passive, weak person. That man was bold. He was outrageous. And that's why that's really why they got rid of him. He had too much to say. And when you have too much to say and you stand right, the people are going to always try to crucify you. Always. Always. And they're going to try to hang you up, hook you up, and get rid of you as fast as they can.
Well, it's very interesting. I always say this, Bishop. Okay, Pioneer, let me play. I want the Bishop to answer the comment right there. Damn.
Okay, religion keeps you waiting. It teaches you don't do it yourself. That would Jesus take care of everything. They say Jesus take the wheel. It's good advice for a lazy man who don't want to do it himself. I say, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you say Jesus take the wheel, Jesus is gonna take the wheel, but you're gonna be the one who turns it.
I like that. Okay.
Jesus
Okay.
does.
What you
Remember
gotta say, Frank?
You go.
What you gotta say, Frank? Might be frozen time. I don't know. Yo, what you gotta say, man?
Oh my bad. I was just thinking. Sorry about that. I mean, you know, it's prosperity preaching, man. You know, it's all about for example, like other people use their platform. You know what I mean? It's a responsible way and an irresponsible way, and there's a way to where you use it. You know, for a big corporation. You know what I'm saying? For monetary gain. You see what I'm saying? Just like a lot of a lot of these people, what it is, I think they want you to be hopeless. I think just like the government, the government wants you to be scared, and a lot of these religions, a lot of these pastors and stuff, they want you to be scared in a way too. But at the same time, they want you to put their faith more in them. You see what I'm saying? And put your faith more in when you die and getting your praises versus you being on this earth and getting your blessings. So, I mean, a lot of it, I think, is prosperity preaching, man. I think it's you're giving you're selling false hopes and stuff to people too. But I mean, some of these pastors and preachers are really doing it from their heart, and they're doing it for the good of will of God. But a lot of them aren't. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them are, they're faking it themselves, man. I mean, but at the same time, we talk about these black pastors and preachers doing it. They the fake. They got it from the white ones.
Yep.
Benny Hinn and what's the dude's name?
Kenneth Copeland.
What's the dude's name?
Osteen and
Kenneth Copeland. And there's another one.
Osteen and
what's the other dude that just died? The dude that just died. What was his name? I forget his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The white dude that just died.
The white dude.
I forget.
Well,
but yeah,
you know what I always say, man, right? They always say you got to date with destiny, and destiny is, hold on.
Well, the prosperity preachers, the one that gets the most prosperity is the preacher. He tells about
prosperity preachers.
He gonna get that prosperity preacher rides in jets, lives in mansions, and has a fleet of cars. The members get on the bus, rent their house, and still trying to pay for their electric bill. That's the difference. The prosperity pastor has a fleet of cars, jets, and mansions for a home. His members ride the bus. You see what I'm saying? They're on welfare, still trying to pay their rent, and the electric is turned off. And what does the prosperity preacher do? Does he open up one of those 40 rooms that he has in his house and invites one of his members in? Does he take one of the does he sell one of his cars, those fleets of Mercedes and Rolls Royces, and pay somebody's rent in his own congregation? I'm not talking people in the world, I'm talking about his own congregation. Most of those churches sit in ghetto areas. T.G. Jakes' church in the ghetto of Houston. Joel Osteen's church, he's a white preacher, it still sits in the ghetto of that town, Houston. They deal their parishioners for the most part. Oh yeah, they have people like Tyler Perry and Oprah go to those churches, but the main membership are just average Joes who work 9-to-5 jobs, and then they got to get on the bus every morning at 6 o'clock while he's laying in his luxurious silken sheet beds, waiting for another check to come in by way of mail. It's and I'm not saying we should be poor. Preachers should not be poor. But when you have a poor congregation who remains poor because they're giving to you, making you richer, and you have no conscience.
I got a question. Yeah. Is that why Obama can come and sing Amazing Grace?
Of course. And why? Because we all are so impressed. Now, he went into an AME church. of which I was a pastor in. I've been to that church he sang at, but I've been down to that church. It's called Mother Emmanuel. They never say the AME part. It's Mother Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church. And he went there and he sang, and I saw Bishop, all the bishops I know. Some of them I pastored with when I was pastoring. They were pastors then, they weren't bishops then. All standing up. Bishop Norris, I can name them one by one. Bishop Norris, Bishop Garrison, I can name them one by one. McAllister, all of them stand up there, applaud him as he's singing Amazing Grace. And at the same time, his wife's entertaining the LBGT community at the White House. It's all hypocrisy. It's all show. It's show even with the LBGT community. That's all a show. Everything's a show. Everything's a show. They just know how to work on two stages. One was at a church singing Amazing Grace, but the others at the White House entertaining LGBTQ community leaders. It's all a show. And we
well,
every single time.
Well, I think Mr. Frank is having a problem with his stream, but this has been a really, really excellent conversation. But the thing is, didn't do it in the loss. Okay, I see what you're saying. But
yeah, sorry about
nevertheless,
that, man.
No, that's all good. It's all good. But I will say this, nevertheless, that we learned a lot, because I did not like when he was singing Amazing Grace after those people were upset after Dylan Roof came in the church and shot those people. So that was actually very humiliating. But the more humiliating part is not that, is that while you were doing that, the White House being lit up in rainbow colors. That was the most humiliating part. So that was really a distraction from what was going on at White House. Now, that being said, Frank, I know your internet been messing up, but we had a great conversation, and I am glad that we were able to do it. Bishop, you got a show called Real Talk with a G-Man Wednesday at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Correct?
Exactly. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. 515-602-9655 is the call-in number.
Thank you. And Frank, what you got?
Oh yeah, man. Y'all should hit up YouTube channel, man. XX Frank Nitty XX is the YouTube channel, man. Facebook is Frank Jones 8115. Or excuse me, that's the Instagram is Frank Jones 8115. Frank Nevermind Jones is the Facebook. And you can hit up the Cash App, you know what I'm saying, if y'all want to support, man. You know what I'm saying? It's $ Frank Jones and then JONE and then with a Z and then 1. So no S, S and Jones.
Let's say something right there. Hold up. There's one thing I forgot. I'm just gonna bring it up real quick. And don't forget, next year, Cash App, Venmo, and some of these things may be charged. Remember, they're trying to monitor your bank account now. $600 or more want to monitor your bank account. Just remember that, people. They're trying to hire 80,000 more IRS agents. So beware of what these people are doing. And remember to get live. Just bring that there. I just want to forget that. But
thank you.
Y'all already know, y'all can give me a KingBJmedia.com, KingBJFitness.com, Bernard Johnson Facebook, Bernard21 Instagram, KingBJFitness32 Instagram, Cash App $1919BJ. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to do. It's getting wild. But let's go ahead and get to the right side of history. You know what, Monel? It is a clown. Yes. I always say it is a clown show. It's the biggest clown show in history. And please, don't forget, this month is Halloween. You can see more clowns and more trick-or-treating. But as I told Bishop, when I was talking to him last week, me and Bishop, we had a nice conversation. And I told Bishop, remember, well, we're not getting tricked on this panel here, but the people getting tricked while the pharmaceutical company is getting a nice little treat. Didn't I say that? That's what getting treated. The pharmaceutical companies. And Joe Biden in that speech said, Goldman Sachs and Wall Street getting a nice little treat, because he said they even said they giving an economic broadcast. So they banking on this stuff too. You better believe they got, matter of fact, you better not believe I can go pull up 10 articles right now if I really wanted and tell you how much they really making. And they ain't gonna take that long. You got the information in your hand, you need to use it. And matter of fact, don't buy that crap about Facebook logging up this weekend. Remember, they told you they had configuration changes. They did have configuration changes. They're trying to find a way to lock this stuff down. That's what's going on.
Yep. Instagram,
so
same thing in Instagram.
I'm not telling you, and I'm not telling you to believe me. Don't believe Bishop. Don't believe Frank. Look up the information for yourself. But I know I got a good people commenting, so they look up information. So, with that being said, y'all men have a nice day. I'm out, and we'll do it again one more time. Gotcha.
All right, y'all.
All right, Frank.
Good show, BJ. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah.